So this is Donna Morling-Grove, who is the course lead for the OT Apprenticeship programme at Christchurch, and she's going to talk to us about supporting apprentices for success. Now, Donna's just going to test whether she needs a microphone or not, because we don't need it for the recording. The recording of this session will be available for you afterwards.
I have a certain reputation. Can you hear me at the back if I'm not using a microphone? You can, lovely. So I will get cracking. I find microphones quite difficult. I don't know other people. I find as a listener the echo, but I find the speaker the feedback is problematic for me. It's not even hearing these glasses, which I have just changed so I can read, but they may cause me to fall over as well. So I will do my best. So welcome everyone. So I'm just going to start with a little fact for the history buffs or the wordsmiths amongst you. Apprenticeship comes from the French word apprentice, or apprenti, I imagine it would be, meaning someone in learning. And the suffix, which is ship, comes from the Anglicans. And if we want to be real wordsmiths, then it would have been spelled S-C-I-P rather than S-H-I-P that we now have. But it means to be in a state or to be in a condition of learning. So an apprentice is someone who is in a state or condition of learning from a master in the field. So who here is a mentor for apprentices? I'm making you masters in your field straight away, so that's the mantle to hold on to, isn't it? And who have I got here as apprentices? I can see a lot of familiar faces. I have been warned I may have to dodge cabbages later. I'm ready, I am ready. At Canterbury Christchurch, we offer a number of degree apprenticeships. My name is Donna Morling-Grove, and I'm the course director for the Integrated Occupational Therapy degree, and that's the official way of saying an OT apprenticeship. So, I have to do my slides. I should wing the Jane. Yeah, that's fine to do, please. Lovely. Apprenticeships have got a long history as an educational strategy. After all, they provide a meaningful learning environment. Instead of telling students about the subject, they're able to learn at the elbows of experts. Take a moment, cast your mind back. For some of you it'll be further than others, but when you were at school, can you remember the learning style? For those of you who are my age, or older, we didn't actually get to do a lot, did we? We sat and we listened. And how productive was that? It had its limitations. The most powerful type of learning is when you've got your hands on the job. Your hands are getting dirty, you're learning by doing. The OT apprenticeship still incorporates all the academic components that you would expect in a degree course, but it allows students to apply the theory they're learning by working alongside more experienced practitioners. They're immersed within a community where their people are practicing exactly what the apprentices are being taught. RCOP state the relationship between each employer and university is unique, and that means that each apprenticeship will be unique. There is no specific formula. It's a collaboration, a reciprocal relationship based on the desire to teach the apprentice the skills they need to be a competent practitioner. However, as an apprentice, you are guaranteed to meet standards in your education. What you're taught will meet the RCOT Learning and Development Standards for pre-registration. And that's the standards that any undergrad student needs, regardless of the route you take. It's important that we meet these standards, as our RCOT accreditation is dependent on doing so. And it's the RCOT accreditation that means, as qualified occupational therapists, you can work in different countries. RCOT takes the accreditation from the World Federation of Occupational Therapists. So it is, in many respects, an internationally recognised degree that we are offering. The OT apprenticeship connects academic learning taught at Christchurch to the workplace. And this brings a number of benefits for all those involved: the employer, the learner, and the university. A government survey in 2017 reported that 86% of employers felt they benefited from having an apprenticeship scheme that developed skills relevant to their organisation. Apprenticeships are what we call employer-driven. The employer sets the agenda and they decide what they want. We then work in partnership to deliver this in a way that meets the employer's needs and adheres to higher education requirements and RCOT standards. For employers, having a student in the workplace is an effective way to develop a workforce that meets the service needs. What better way to ensure future OTs understand the demands of service and the population they'll be serving than to train them in a live situation. The application of theory taught at university is then applied and assimilated in a way that supports the employer's organisational demands and their objectives. Through an apprenticeship, employers can upskill their workforce. This has many benefits. It can reduce the time and cost of recruitment. Your Band 5 OTs will be homegrown. No longer going out to advert, no more recruitment days, no more interview days. Imagine the joy. So for those of you interviewing at the moment. It also means that employers can keep talent in their organisation. It can be nurtured and developed. Golden handcuffs for the student, if you will. I'm sure many of you can identify that particular OTA or therapy assistant you know would make an amazing OT if only they had the opportunity. For learners, it's an alternative way to gain professional qualification. Traditional routes into higher education are not accessible to everybody, but if you aspire to advance your career, the OT apprenticeship provides a clear career development pathway for you to do this, and do it while earning a salary and not paying any tuition fees. Apprenticeships are structured around the student developing knowledge, skills and behaviours required for the job that they will be doing. Can you think of a better way to do this than by actually working on the job? Every apprentice is allocated a workplace mentor, and this person will be your guru. Everyone now talks about employability. It's become quite a buzzword across every industry. The importance of industry experience. Apprentices benefit from an industry mentor who will provide guidance and advice, help you to reflect, challenge your assumptions, and build your theoretical knowledge and practical skills. Studies have shown that apprenticeship graduates make a better transition into professional life. They adapt better to the work situation, their job satisfaction is higher, and they have higher work productivity. If you need any more convincing that apprenticeships provide a respected way to a successful career, then let me tell you, 30% of all of Rolls-Royce's senior executives started out as apprentices. So with many of my apprentices sitting there, we could be looking at the AHP leads of the future. For the university, it's allowed us to expand our market, to reach students who may not have considered undertaking degree-level education via the traditional route, either because they already have an existing degree and further financial burden is just not feasible, or because the thought of academic study has felt out with their reach. 25% of all apprenticeships are now at degree level. Gone are the days of low pay and minimum wage, cheap labour and poor conditions. Degree apprenticeships are a new entity where apprentices are given professional status from the outset and offered the opportunity to fulfil their potential. The apprenticeship programme has also enabled the university to build stronger bridges with our partners in practice to ensure that we are producing a workforce ready for the demands of the current health and social care landscape. RCOT places responsibility on all universities to ensure the education they provide meets the needs of the key stakeholders. An apprenticeship, by its very nature, is a joint venture. It includes, but is not limited to, educators, practitioners, practice educators, researchers and managers, all coming together to support the apprentice. To strengthen this connection, we've been delighted to offer associate lectureships to all apprentice work-based mentors, whose contribution to the curriculum teaching are most welcome. Having practitioners brings up-to-date real-life OT scenarios into the classroom provides a validity that's unparalleled. So if anyone wants to gain some lecturing experience, please do catch me afterwards. So what can you expect from a degree apprenticeship in occupational therapy? Apprenticeships focus on occupational standards. And this is for every degree, not just OT. Don't be misled by the word occupation with occupational standards. An occupational standard is a description of an occupation or an activity, and it describes the knowledge, skills and behaviours needed for someone to be competent in their work. A duty is what the person does in their workplace, the sort of things that you would find on your job description. Knowledge is the information or know-how that a person needs to be able to carry out their duties successfully. Skills are the practical application of the knowledge, and these are learned through experience. And behaviours are the mindset or attitude needed to be competent. Some behaviours will be innate or instinctive, whilst others can be learned. They may include things like teamworking, respecting others, or behaving professionally. During the degree, students study 18 modules that aim to build their knowledge, skills and behaviours in occupational therapy. Each module has a mixture of learning components. Talk components that may include lectures, seminars, discussions, group work, simulation activities, guided learning. This could be workbooks, videos, reading, quizzes, prep work, and then independent learning time, where they don't have set work from the university and can decide where to focus their efforts. It could be assignment writing, revision, reading, listening to podcasts. And then there's work-based learning objectives. These are directions on how to apply your knowledge in the workplace and develop the practical skills that you need. So you can see how the university and employer work in tandem to support the apprentice's learning. Every module has a module lead, who is the person responsible for the planning and delivery of the module. And there is a teaching team made up of lecturers with specific skills or a particular interest in that area. Every module, of course, has an associated assignment. These range from the usual essays to presentations, case studies, multiple choice exams, reflections, and in your final year, a business plan regarding the future development in the field of occupational therapy. There will always be someone on hand to support you. If there's an issue relating specifically to the module, you can access the module lead for information and support. You will also be allocated a personal academic tutor who will support you with anything from personal issues to academic concerns. And of course, all the usual services run by student support are open to apprentices, be that support with a long-term health condition or disability, or just some additional input to brush up on your academic writing skills, or help with that old devil referencing. During the time of the course, you can also expect practice placements. Part of the World Federation requirements for you to register as an occupational therapist is that you must have completed a minimum of 1,000 hours of clinical practice. And this needs to be in a variety of settings. It does not include your usual workplace. The university will organise the placements for you over the duration of the course. Each will be an opportunity to learn more about different aspects of OT and to practice the theoretical skills you've been learning in the classroom. From your employer, you can expect the opportunities and support to help you develop your practical skills. You'll be based in an authentic health or social care working environment. When you're not at university, you'll be at work. You'll receive the same annual leave entitlement as your colleagues. There is, of course, a difference in how every organisation views and implements the apprenticeship, and it's important that you understand the individual approach from any prospective employer. Our expectation of you is one of commitment and professionalism. We expect students to be committed to learning and development, to be able to take responsibility for their own learning. You'll need good organisation skills, the ability to work under pressure. Any degree is hard work, and that includes an apprenticeship degree. The academic component is just as demanding as it would be for an undergraduate route. We want you to be curious. We want you to ask questions, challenge assumptions, be excited about the idea of occupation, whether that be occupational performance, occupational participation, or occupational justice. You decide. is the bedrock of an apprenticeship. And to support this, we have a system of tripartite meetings. These involve the workplace mentor, the apprentice and the university tutor. It's an opportunity to get together and review progress, and also to feedback about the course and teaching, identify new learning opportunities at work, and discuss any assignments or placements. We also have consortium meetings with employers, and I meet with the course reps every term. These points of contact have been valuable in helping us learn what goes well, and maybe what isn't so well received. After all, none of us can get it right all of the time. The apprenticeship has been a process of listening, negotiating, learning and adapting. As a university, we've recognised some of the challenges and listened to what the apprentices and employers have told us. Some examples of the challenges we've had are tripartite meetings, originally scheduled to take place every 6 to 8 weeks. However, the mentors found this too frequent. We didn't want to reduce the frequency as we're keen to maintain regular contact with apprentices, but now the mentors only need to attend every other meeting. This has reduced the pressure on mentors who've been working in some extreme conditions over the past couple of years while still supporting our apprentices. Initially, when the apprenticeship was developed, teaching was spread evenly across the module calendar. The idea was students would have a talk week followed by a guided study week to allow them time to assimilate the information. However, apprentices have told us that they were finding writing their assignments stressful and would benefit from more time to do this. They also found that guided study sessions often meant they lost the momentum of teaching. The timetable has been reorganised for 2022, and all modules now deliver a talk component up front, leaving the assignment writing time at the end. It's from feedback and collaboration we've been able to make this improvement. Apprentices also fed back that they would like to be more involved with the development of the programme. And for the first time this year, the student reps were involved in timetabling assignments for their year group. It was a really good working event. We met online one evening and the apprentices shared their experience and expertise with both me and with the other year groups. We also have 2 of our apprentices involved in developing the new final module for the programme that will replace the endpoint assessment. But it's not only the students who get involved. I also have the pleasure of working with some of the mentors and the managers when shaping a degree programme. They're able to feed back through the consortium meetings. My water here, John. It's on the top, sorry. They're able to feed back through the consortium meetings, and some of them have been kind enough to be involved with our apprenticeship survey, discussions about mentoring processes, and actually teaching on the course. And, forgive the sales pitch again, but anyone involved in teaching, you know where I am. As a final note, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Charlotte, one of our students, about what she thinks of the degree apprenticeship. Since starting 18 months ago, I've grown both personally and professionally. I used to help people on telephones in the NHS, but now I have my own caseload in the community, supporting and empowering people at home after a neurological event. I learn something new every day, and I make a difference every day. It's definitely been tough balancing home life, university work, and starting a whole new job, but I wouldn't have wanted to learn any other way. I already have a degree, so I could never have done this without the apprenticeship programme. Without the apprenticeship, I wouldn't have found my calling and the career that I love. Thank you.